Hi, in this video, we're going to talk about the mixing idea in multiple inheritance. So as we see that multiple inheritance can be useful. However, it also comes with its own problem, and specifically the diamond problem, right? So we have to use multiple inheritance very carefully and use it in the right way. And for now, we should avoid the diamond problem. Okay, so given this inheritance hierarchy with these types, then how can we redesign it or implement it the right way? So the design principle we'll follow is that the base or the parent classes that we use in multiple inheritance should provide very specific functionalities all by themselves. So they should not depend on any other class. So specifically, they should not inherit from any other classes. Then they will be completely independent of each other and they will not share any common ancestors. Now, classes like this, they are, in a way, they're designed to be mixed into other classes to provide the specific functionalities. So sometimes they are referred to as mixings. So mix in, right? So this is just kind of a rule, a concept. So, and it's not specific to or being enforced by Python. It's just an idea that will follow when we use multiple inheritance. So let's see how we use this idea to design this inheritance hierarchy. So instead of the audio and picture class, we'll define an audio mixing and picture mixing class. So for the audio mixing, it would provide the functionality for durations. And for picture mixing, it will provide functionality that has to do with pictures, like the width and height, right? And very importantly, these mixings, they will not have a base class or a parent class. Now, then for the audio class, it will inherit from the file class and get the creator creation date and size property from the file class, but it'll also inherit from the audio mixing class and inherit the functionality related to duration. Similarly for picture. So picture would inherit from the file class and also from the picture mixing class. And finally, for the video class, because it needs attributes and functionalities from file, audio mixing, and picture, video will inherit from all three of these classes. So in this way, there is no duplication of functionalities between any of these classes, while at the same time, we avoid the diamond problem in multiple inheritance. Now, let me actually show you the code. So for the file, it has the three common attributes or properties for all the media files. And for audio mixing, again, notice that it does not inherit from any other class. It provides the functionality necessary for audio, in this case, just the duration, all by itself. Right? Same thing for the picture mixing, no base class, and it can do everything it needs to do all by itself, anything to do with width and height. And then for audio, you'll inherit from the file and the audio mixing. And just in the case in multiple inheritance, when it needs to call the base classes methods that have name conflicts, they will explicitly dereference the class. And same thing for picture. Picture inherits from file and picture mixing, and it call those classes method by explicitly dereferencing those classes if there's a name conflict. All right, and finally, for video, it would inherit from all three of these classes: file, audio mixing, and picture mixing. And same thing, when it needs to call those methods, it will explicitly dereference the class. And finally, let's see that we instantiate an audio file. We also instantiate a picture file. And finally, we would instantiate a video file. And hopefully, all three of them can now be successfully instantiated. And again, we are able to do this now because in our inheritance hierarchy with multiple inheritance, we avoid the diamond of death problem by not having a common ancestor for any of our user-defined types. So as a brief conclusion, that the idea of mixing is one of the ways to work around the diamond problem when we use multiple inheritance. We've seen how it achieves that. Now, the truth is that in Python, there's no way to actually really avoid the diamond problem. It's always there. And I'll explain why that's the case when we talk about multiple inheritance, and particularly in context of MRO in more depth later in the class. And so until then, we'll use the multiple inheritance following the spirit or the principle of mixing.